Vanderheyden provides the opportunity for a new and better life by creating the personal foundation and teaching the life skills necessary to a more meaningful way of life for children and their families. Having been given the gift of opportunity, I feel an obligation to share what I can so that Vanderheyden can continue to make such a positive difference in the lives of so many. We show you here an example of how Vanderheyden has changed the life of one young woman who has been a resident of Vanderheyden for over 6 years. Her story is one of inspiration and hope, made possible through her years at Vanderheyden.
Meet 19-year-old Zai. Her personal growth over the past few years is something even she could not dream about. Her story is the story of Vanderheyden.
It was my first year in high school. So high school is so much different than middle school. So there's, bigger school, more people, and kind of more pressure that goes along with it.
She was about 16, she was pretty angry. Things were not going well in her life.
My foster parents, along with my county worker, they thought that I needed more structure. I wasn't going to school as much as I should have been, which is part of the reason why I got referred to Vanderheyden.
She started in our diagnostic unit. She had pretty much dead-ended. Folks didn't know how to help her, they didn't know how to reach her. She was truant from school, she had all kinds of family issues going on.
Transitioning into her life at Vanderheyden, Zai found herself resisting the help she so desperately needed.
Well, you could say I kind of resisted like the whole month, but most of my major issues were for the first, 2-3 weeks.
She was there for 30 days. During that time, she settled down. The atmosphere there is very consistent. It's very supportive of the kids.
It took me actually a while to actually realize that this is the program and, there are certain rules and guidelines that I have to follow.
Although Zai's journey got off to a rough start, she was headed in the right direction. Her journey was one of many started at Vanderheyden during its long history.
Something remarkable happened in 1800. A group of women got together and decided that they had to do something to take care of the community's own, the children and the families and the moms and the teens who had nobody and who had no resources. They founded the Benevolent Society of Troy. That organization was the forerunner to all the things that Vanderheyden was and has become and will become in the future. 1833, just 33 years later, they incorporated themselves and therefore became an official charity. And as a charity, they could go out and raise money. If you fast forward over time, you can see that what became later the Troy Orphan Asylum really reflected what was happening societally through the history of the Capital Region. You can trace, for example, the number of children being cared for if you look at how disease, poverty, and war were impacting the United States. Whether in those early days or in the mid-years or in the 1870s when we moved to the big campus on Spring Avenue, the core of our mission has remained the same, that we're always looking to serve those children who for whatever reason are disadvantaged, are down on their luck, and who have not had the advantages that many other children and families in our community have enjoyed.
Zai was one of those youth. Completing 30 days in the diagnostic unit, it was time to forge ahead.
And then I was transferred into the cottages, into Cottage 2.
One of our residential units here on campus.
Well, it was still structured, but not as structured as the DU and everything. I liked it when I got there because anything like after the DU, after how it was set up like that, I was like, oh, now I can move up in phases. Now I can go on a pass and walk down to the basketball court or something.
From then on, she went to our girls' group home. That's the Reuben Group Home. That's located here right here in the city of Troy.
And I loved it. Now, got into the community. I was able to have a job. I was able to go back to Troy High, and that time I did it right, so.
Graduated from Troy. At that point, she was really ready for the next step. We then moved her into our supervised independent living program.
Basically, it's just an apartment, and Vanderheyden assists us in like groceries and stuff. They pay for rent and everything, so that way it's we're still supported, but we're still independent and everything, so it's kind of we get the best of both worlds.
And RIED.
I have to say in almost every single place that I've been in Vanderheyden, from the DU to the cottages to the group home to the independent living program, I've connected with at least one adult there. You know, they're always open to if I need anything and just supportive, and even if I mess up here and there, you know, they don't always doubt me all the time. They always have such high hopes for me, which gives me high hopes for myself.
Your skills or how much you think you know.
As she faced the future, Zai found the support she needed every step of the way at Vanderheyden. Support others find in the many different programs offered.
So in October of 2006, we opened the Bowen unit, a unit for young men who have both emotional and developmental needs and who otherwise would have been placed miles and miles away from their families and their homes. We're very, very proud of that service. It's one of few like it in the Capital Region, highly specialized, very enriched staffing with wonderful vocational options for those young men. I think it shows how Vanderheyden has always tried to be very, very flexible and create new opportunities for boys and girls who have very special needs.
Affected by the impact Vanderheyden had on her life, Zai is planning on a career helping others just like her.
I'm a student at Hudson Valley. I'm in the Human Services program. I just look back to all the people that have helped me, and I hope that I've made them proud by everything I've accomplished, and I want to feel that pride in someone that, like, I've helped someone else feel pride in themselves.
This place is so alive. There are so many different programs and services. There are so many wonderful staff. Sometimes days here are tough. You know, we're at a point of crisis because our children are at a point of crisis in so many times during the week. And sometimes I know our staff feel like all they're doing is putting out fires. But because I can take the long view, I can see the wonderful work that goes on here.
One of the most important things that's really helped me to get to where I am right now is the fact that no one gave up on me. They always supported me. They made sure that I was always doing what I needed to do, and they always pushed me to be the best I could be. Like I said, I would not be here today if it wasn't for Vanderheyden. I mean, look at me. I think I'm doing okay.